Keeping and updating of records is very important in any given business, especially if that business has to do with finance, regulation and supervision, such as the one the National Pension Commission, PENCOM, is saddled with, that is the regulatory body of the pension industry in Nigeria. Hello and welcome to Pension Matters, the pension awareness program where we teach you how to contribute very well into your retirement savings account. And we also tell you how to make withdrawal from the RS account when you put at 5 years in service or attain 50 years of age. My name is Princess Rabi Ibrahim and I'm so glad to have you join us on today's episode of the program. Today we'll be discussing the activities of the National Databank Department of the National Pension Commission. So for details of this and more, stay with us as the program will continue shortly.
Do you know there is a new pension scheme in Nigeria? It is mandatory, it is contributory, it is fully funded, based on individual retirement savings account. Under the supervision of the National Pensions Commission, the new pension scheme guarantees lifelong financial independence for every citizen of Nigeria in public or private employment. PENCOM says it's a new dawn. Call the National Pensions Commission now or log on to www.pencom.gov.ng for further details. PENCOM, your contribution counts.
Welcome back. The program is Pension Matters, and it's now time for us to find out what is trailing in the pension industry with Adanze Okorocha. Ada, take it away.
Thank you, Princess. Hello, viewers. I am Adanze Okorocha, bringing you Pension Trail, where you are updated on the happenings in the pension industry. First on our story today, pension assets growth excites pension managers. Mr. E. Longe, the Chairman Pension Fund Operators of Nigeria, PENOP, is quite excited at the rate which the pension market is growing. Mr. Longe at a media briefing in Lagos said that the scheme will hit a record of 30 million subscribers and pension assets of 20 trillion naira in the next 8 years. However, for this to be possible, he said that the fund generated has to be invested in income-yielding projects. Next on our story, pension fund administrators yet to invest in foreign assets. With a huge portfolio of 5.3 trillion naira under the contributory pension scheme, the pension fund administrators are yet to hit the foreign money and capital market. Even though the Pension Reform Act of 2014 empowers the PFAs to invest in foreign markets, the National Pension Commission PENCOM is yet to give them approval to do so. PENCOM says this is as a result of the perceived lack of capacity by the PFAs to play efficiently in the foreign markets. Lastly, Lagos State pays retirees. The Lagos State government has paid pension entitlement worth 904 million naira to 243 retirees from all parastatals in the state. Mrs. Ajoke Lawa of Lagos State Pension Commission said that the payment brought the number of retirees paid between August last year to February 2016 to 2,652 retirees. She unveiled that the total accrued right paid by the state government from the aforementioned month to date is 11.556 billion naira. Well, viewers, this is much we can take on Pension Trail today. Let's get back to Princess.
Thank you very much, Adanze, for that update on what has been trending in the pension industry. Viewers, you are on to Pension Matters, and now it's time for our up-close segment. On our up-close segment today, we'll be discussing the activities of the National Databank Department of the National Pension Commission. And to do that with me is an amiable lady who is going to take us through the activities of the National Databank Department of the National Pension Commission in the person of Mrs. Eknem Ehomo. Welcome to the program, madam.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you. The National Databank Department of the National Pension Commission is full of activities that interest the RSA account holders. And there are some questions that have been boiling, deserving answers. Today, we want to find out the transfer window. For a very long time now, we'll be hearing the transfer window will be open for people who are dissatisfied with their pension fund administrator to transfer their account to another. But up to now, nothing of that has come up. So what's holding the transfer window?
Thank you very much. That has been a very interesting subject. It is quite correct that the Section 13 of the PRA actually makes provisions for contributors to be able to move from one PFA to another. The Commission is very desirous of opening this window. We have worked assiduously to acquire an application that would enable the seamless movement from one PFA to the other. We have developed the guidelines, we have developed the framework, we have issued those guidelines and the frameworks. They're there in our website. However, the application that we need to have in place, it's not yet on ground. That is something the Commission is working towards ensuring that it's implemented, give or take, before the end of this year. Before that can be opened, we need, as an industry, pension industry, to do what we call a cleanup exercise for those who have incomplete or incorrect information on the PFA's database. So we need to conduct what we call a recapturing exercise with a view to eliminating multiple registration to ensure that those individuals that are moving from one PFA are indeed the eligible people to move. We need to be sure that Mr. A is indeed Mr. A that is moving, or else we would have a bit of a problem.
In fact, it just leads me to my next question to you, the issue of multiple registration. So how is the Commission or your department handling this multiple registration, and what is the side effect of this multiple registration?
The history or the genesis of having a multiple registration is quite clear. Basically, the big issue is that we have to put in place what we refer to as a biometric identification system.
Exactly.
And that was not in place, and is still not in place as of today. But the application that we're trying to implement is an application that will have an AFIS solution, which means that everybody's fingerprints and other biometric indices will be taken. So we'll be sure that indeed the person registering is just one individual. Ab initio, there have been people that have moved from one PFA to the next and therefore issued multiple pins on our database. What the industry has taken as a decision rule is that the very first personal identification number that has been issued to an individual will be the identification number or RSA number or PIN, as is popularly called, that an individual will use all through his or her life under the contributory pension scheme.
So what happens at the time of retirement?
Specifically at the time of the retirement, we will ensure that the monies in the first PIN are accumulated from the period the individual started from July 2004
yes,
to the date of retirement, and ensure that his or her monthly contribution is computed accurately and remitted into that first PIN.
That means the person is not losing
So the person is not losing anything at all.
National Pension Commission conduct pre-retirement enrollment exercise annually.
Sure.
So what is the reason for this under this contributory pension scheme? I was thinking maybe under the defined benefit scheme that is necessary, but under the CPS you still conduct pre-retirement enrollment exercise. Can you tell us how it works and why?
Okay, I'll start with the why and then how it works. The reason that we have to do it is basically because we have to get enough information to be able to determine, especially for, I'm talking with particular reference to federal government employees.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So we need to get information on all federal government employees. Given the fact that the Act, PRA 2014, specifies that the federal government owes each employee a pension liability for past services rendered. Past services rendered prior to the commencement of this new law in 2004. So for employees of the federal government that had worked ab initio before 2004 June, they are entitled to pension liability under the pay-as-you-go scheme.
Okay.
So it becomes important that the amount due to these individuals are determined and paid into their RSA account. In fact, the PRA 2004 Record 2004 and as well the amended 2014 recognizes this as a liability. That government will recognize this liability and issue a bond to its employees, and that bond will be redeemed on the date of retirement. So, because there is no agency of government that has a database of all federal government employees that will be able to give us enough information that would enable us determine and calculate what this liability, pension liability is, the Commission now conducts an annual verification exercise for all employees due to retire in the next subsequent year. And it helps us to be able to inform the government appropriately with respect to the liability that it's going to crystallize in the upcoming year. So what we do is we conduct this exercise across 36 to 37 states, including FCT, and we collate all the information and compute the liability and make sure we send it to the Budget Office of Nigeria, Budget Office of the Federation, okay, for inclusion in the next budget of the federal government.
Viewers, on to pension matters, and today we are discussing with the head of department of the National Databank Management Department of the National Pension Commission. She's been taking us through the activities of this department. When we come back, Ms. Ihomo will take us more on what they do in this department.
Do you know there is a new pension scheme in Nigeria? It is mandatory, it is contributory, it is fully funded, based on individual retirement savings account. Under the supervision of the National Pensions Commission, the new pension scheme guarantees lifelong financial independence for every citizen of Nigeria in public or private employment. PENCOM says it's a new dawn. Call the National Pensions Commission now or log on to www.pencom.gov.ng for further details. PENCOM, your contribution counts.
Welcome back. The program is Pension Matters. Before the break, Madam, I was going to ask you the issue of benefits to people that have died under the CPS. You know, in the defined benefit scheme, that is the pay as you go, once the retiree dies, the NOKs take over and they pay them the gratuity and whatsoever they have under that scheme. But in the CPS, what is obtainable when the contributor dies before putting 35 years in service or attaining the age of 50?
Well, basically the same thing happens.
Really?
Yes, because it's either the contributor died while in active service, or the contributor died on retirement. Either way, the NOK is entitled to the balance in the RSA of the contributor or the retiree.
Okay.
The slight difference here is simply that for federal government, for those that died while in active service, their benefits are of threefold. We have the accumulated contribution, monthly contribution that they've made. We have the accrued rights, which is the funds that represent their past service with government prior to the commencement of the Act. And then we have the group life assurance, which the Act provides for 300% of the total emolument of that individual. So these three components, of course, with the interest end, are what is expected to be in the RSA of the individual. What the Commission has specified to the operators, pension fund administrators, is basically to ensure that the appropriate next of kin or beneficiary is the one that the funds is being released to. And by so we have on our guideline specified the various documents that a beneficiary should come with to show that indeed I'm the beneficiary. For example, you should have the death certificate.
Sure.
You should have a letter of administration if the individual died without a will. And if the individual did die with a will, the will must be registered in probate. And the will would indicate that indeed you are the beneficiary of the individual's estate. These documents will be provided to the RSA holders pension fund administrator, who then forwards it to the commission, and the balance in that account is released to the beneficiary.
Often at time, people write, viewers, they write letters, send emails, or text messages to us, asking us about this accrued right. So this issue of accrued right, I've been longing for someone from National Pension Commission to explain it to our viewers or intended retirees or the Nigerian workforce. What is accrued rights and how is it connected with the CPS?
The accrued rights is actually a term that we coined within the commission. But the accrued rights relates to past services rendered prior to the commencement of the new law.
Okay.
We know that we were operating the pay-as-you-go system. And under the pay-as-you-go system, there are certain rules within the pay-as-you-go system. The commencement of the PRA 2004 basically says that federal government ceases to operate a pay-as-you-go system, okay, and operates a contributory scheme system. But that does not in any way mean that the liability that was accrued cannot be paid. So the portion of your past service with government, from whenever you started working with the federal government till June 2004, is determined as the accrued right.
Okay. Because some of them still think that the accrued right means certain elements that need to be added or spice up their retirement savings account. Well, I'm going to ask you this question because we receive people, callers, who ask and tell us that they still have difficulties accessing money from their retirement savings account. They still have delay in payment of benefits to people operating under the CPS. What is responsible for this? Because I was thinking when we left the pay-as-you-go system and dabbled into this CPS, retirement benefits should come very, very easy and cheaply to Nigerian workforce who have retired the last day they leave office. But now, it's not so. We still have some people having difficulties accessing money from their retirement savings account. Can you tell us why it is so?
The delay you're referring to actually relates to only public sector employees under the federal government and not for the private sector employees. There are no delays with the release and approval of retirement benefits for private sector employees. With respect to the federal government employees, the federal government have been assiduous in remitting the 5% wage bill that had to be paid into the retirement benefit bond redemption account.
Okay.
However, in the past few months, there have been financial constraints that the federal government are experiencing, and as such, that has delayed the payments of funds into this account with the Central Bank of Nigeria. The Commission is working assiduously with both the Budget Office of the Federation and the Office of the Accountant General to ensure that funds are paid promptly into this account. Immediately funds are being paid, the CBN releases monies into the respective RSA accounts with their pension fund administrators. Thank you.
I must thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you so very much.
When next we call you, I just hope you oblige us.
Always.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Viewers, you've heard it all from Mrs. Ekenem Ihomo. She'll be able to throw more light on the issue of multiple registration and the delay, slight delay in payment of retirement benefits under the CPS. The program is Pension Matters, and up next is pension education. Don't go away.
Thank you very much, Princess. Hello, viewers. Welcome to this week's pension education segment. My name is Igbo Patrick. Last week, we looked at the various modes of withdrawing from the contributory pension scheme. We talked about the program withdrawal and also mentioned the other option of a program withdrawal with an option of a lump sum. This week, we shall be looking at the annuity along with the option of lump sum. The annuity actually allows for the would-be retiree to go into a negotiation or an agreement with an insurance company of his or her choice. What it entails is that the money that is moved from the PFA after a lump sum has been determined or received from the PFA by the would-be retiree is moved to the insurance company in totality to purchase what is referred to as an annuity for life. The annuity is one of the insurance products that is offered under the life insurance. It entails coming into an agreement with the insurance company based on a particular amount that will be paid to the individual retiree for a particular number of years, which is referred to as a guarantee period. In this case, it's referred to as a 10 years guarantee period. The 10 years guarantee period, and then till life, that's till death. Let me use that word too. The annuity, it's actually made possible based on the various transactions that are done by the insurance company on behalf of the would-be retiree. And on a monthly basis, the said agreed amount is paid to that retiree at a particular month, every month, throughout the period of the 10 years, and as long as the individual is also alive. Now, the period of 10 years is referred to as a window period. Within that period, if the would-be retiree is no longer, or they probably as a result of death, the beneficiary to the annuity itself is contacted, and a particular amount remaining as balance is credited to that beneficiary. In the case where it would be retiree is deceased, the beneficiary in this case does not earn any of because the truth is that there is nothing to earn. But as long as the retiree lives on, if you like, get to 105, 90, the insurance company is binded by the agreement that has been signed for that particular amount to be paid on monthly basis to the retiree. This is what annuity in lay terms actually means.
Thank you so much, Mr. Patrick, for that pension education. Our viewers keep writing in to tell us that they enjoy the pension education segment. So, Mr. Patrick, keep up the good work. Viewers, on that note, we come to the end of our program for today. That's our package of pension matters for this week. We do hope we were able to learn one or two things from our offering today, and hoping that we tune in next week, same time, same station, for another informative, educative, and exciting episode of Pension Matters. Until then, I remain yours, Princess Rabi Ibrahim, and I urge you to enjoy your weekend. God bless you.